In the last videos, we spoke about the history of Star Trek Online and some of the good and bad changes made to the game over the years with the various updates. However, before bringing this to a conclusion, I want to take a look at the more technical side of things and see how the game's visuals and audio have evolved over the years. I'm your host, Devin of Gaming in Progress, and welcome to Star Trek Online, The Voyage so far. Part 3, Evolution of Visuals and Sound. Looking back at Star Trek Online from when it first launched back in 2010 compared to how it looks today, it's obvious that a conscious effort was made to keep the game from looking too outdated. As Star Trek Online grew, we would see new animations, textures for starships, new ship models, as well as improvements to character models, both player and NPC, changes to space stations, UI changes, and improved lighting. Sound was something else that would evolve with time within the game. As quality was improved, we would see more dynamic sounds, and of course, a growing cast of veteran Star Trek actors voicing the characters they once played, as well as actors for new, never-before-seen characters. When Star Trek Online first came out, back in 2010, it was, in my opinion, a tad dated in appearance compared to other games of the time, particularly in regards to the character models. The game's UI was also a bit of an eyesore, particularly the UI for the Klingon Empire, as it was bright, bloated, and caused lag for players in the early days of Star Trek Online. There were also far less ship types for the Federation and Klingon factions, and these ships were very limited and were limited to bridge interiors. Another major visual eyesore in Star Trek Online back during launch was Earth Space Dock, as Earth Space Dock didn't really look like Earth Space Dock from any of the Star Trek we knew previously. It vaguely resembled the Earth Space Dock that we saw in the 2009 Star Trek reboot, but it didn't even match the design of that exactly. Cryptic would eventually replace this exterior with a classic Earth Space Dock exterior, as well as revamping the interior around the time Season 9.5, also known as New Dawn, came out. On the audio side, Star Trek Online would see several audio improvements. The first improvement was the addition of voiced dialogue for characters in various missions. When Star Trek Online launched, there were few voiced parts outside of the narration by Leonard Nimoy and the role of the tutorial emergency medical hologram voiced by Zachary Quinto. However, as time would go on, we saw many characters receive the voiced dialogue treatment, and while not every mission or character has voiced dialogue, many more do now than when the game came out. Other audio improvements made were fixing audio sync issues, the addition of more dynamic sounds, as well as changes to sounds certain objects made. In the Agents of Yesterday expansion, we saw the addition of many new original series era sounds, objects, and visuals, from tricorders to transporters and so on, as well as Cryptic reworking the audio from Leonard Nimoy to use it in the appearance of a young Spock during the first mission. Cryptic even managed to work in audio files of dialogue from the original Star Trek show for characters either unable or unwilling to reprise their roles. And so concludes The Voyage so far. Star Trek Online has come a far way in many ways over the past 6 years, and I for one look forward to seeing where it will go next. I'm personally hoping for a Captain Archer appearance, as it would allow us to focus more on that era and maybe get a interior for the NX class finally. I honestly hope you have enjoyed this 3-part video series about Star Trek Online. If you missed parts 1 and 2, you can click on them now. Let me know what you thought about this video series, and if you would like to see us take a closer look at the history of another game. On a final note, I want to apologize for the delay on this last video, as I have been extremely busy and not been feeling well lately. That being said, This has been Devon of Gaming in Progress. And good luck out there, Starfleet officers. End transmission.